But yeah, just to finish off what I was saying, the only reason I can see him being fired at this point is that they've gotten Max to sign on the dotted line. Jos and all those guys have gone, yeah, but we want Horner gone immediately. Because anything else, you keep Horner until the end of the season. It just doesn't make any sense to remove him right now. So, yeah.
Anyways, now coming to the more important thing, something that the media refused to address. As a sporting decision, good, bad, or long-term, whatever, what's your view on what Red Bull did when it comes to their call to actually sack for Christian Horner?
I think it was a stupid move regardless. Like from a corporate point of view, right? If I'm taking it, like forgetting about all the over-exaggeration, if we're just looking at it from, for a second, imagine this isn't to do with Verstappen, right? And it's to do with like long-term control of the sporting team. If it is a situation of Red Bull thought he had too much control and they wanted to turn it into a more kind of corporate held, I think that's a bad decision anyway, but if they wanted to turn it into that, this was still a terrible way to do that. You do that over the next 12 months. You slowly hand things over. You don't just turn chaos in and hope things work out with Mekies. So from that point of view, even if it was just nothing to do with Verstappen and we just want corporate control and we wanted to start reaming things back into Red Bull, this was executed terribly, right? So there's that. If it was to do with Verstappen, then one, you better hope you've held on to Verstappen, because if Verstappen still goes to Mercedes, this will go down in history as one of the biggest, if not the biggest, cock-up in Formula One history. And if it was a reaction...
By the way, I think Alpine's nonsense comes close, to be honest.
Yeah.
They did something similar, but they weren't this bad.
Yeah. So if they lose Verstappen and... but like if this was a reaction to losing Verstappen, then it goes back to what I said anyway, which is
exactly,
if Verstappen's already going, then you keep Horner at least until the end of the season.
For you, because these are the, I think you touched on it a bit. These are the two theories that are there. The first is that ultimately it was entirely the board and Oliver Minchla wanting to do something on these lines, and he saw the opportunity and he jumped on it. He, by the way, got the consent of people like the Thai investors,
the Thai side who don't actually give a shit, by the way,
as well as Helmut Marko, who probably signed it with blood.
Kel Surprise,
yeah. And that's the one theory. The second is that the Verstappen family kind of put the entire Red Bull the entire Red Bull management in basically an ultimatum situation where it's either them or Horner, and ultimately with that they picked Verstappen and let go of Horner. So these are the two theories.
Horner was carrying tons of cash for high tech. Who knows? There could be something coming out of the wash later on. Like, just to put that out there as well, Horner is still sticking to the line that he doesn't know why he was fired. So there could be, just to point out, this could be completely un-Verstappen related, could be completely on-board control related, and it could turn out he's been sending finger pics on WhatsApp again. Like, there could be something else. Yeah. But at the moment, with the information we have, it does look like it's board control. It just, the timing for me tells me it's to keep Verstappen, because with any other situation, like even if it's a case of it's reactionary, Verstappen has left.
To keep Verstappen is one thing, but sitting him down, telling him sign a multi-year contract.
Oh no, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
And like then fire him.
That's what I mean. It's a situation of they've sat down and he has agreed to stay for at least 2026. Just give them the year to prove it, right? No, I don't think that's good enough either. But I'm saying that is the only thing that makes sense to me, because in any other situation, if you're a board and you're pragmatically looking at this, even with where you're at the moment, any change you make can only have negative effects on 2026, because any new guy coming in looking at 2026 won't have enough time to fix it. So you, at very least, you just go, okay, if there's any other reason, we keep him until the end of the season. We start planning now. We kind of quietly figure who we're going to place in, and you build up something where the moment the season's over, Horner's out, Mekies is in, you've got your new technical director, you've got everything set up and ready to go. This seems very much timing-wise. The only reason to do it right now is because you've sat Verstappen down, and maybe not Verstappen like Max, but Jos and his other managers have gone...
The camp.
Because I don't think... Max seems to only care about winning, right? And I think that is fair. But his Jos and his camp seem to be very much like, this is what we're doing.
The problem is, look, you care about winning is one thing, but realizing that Formula One is not something you can run on a whim. You can't look. There's a reality which I'm not entirely sure Max has understood. He might think he's the hottest property in Formula One, but he cannot predict future.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if right now he's sitting there, and I don't.
See, I going back to what I said last week, I really just think, I do think this is a case of, and I can see why it would happen, that Max puts his trust in the people around him who make these decisions and have made
then those people
good
are
decisions.
foolish, right?
Sure, but the way he'll look at it
But
is,
then
they've
those
gotten
people
me.
are yours, Verstappen.
Those people have gotten me to 4 championships, so I'll take them at their best on this. And those people seem to think they know better than, say, Horner and Red Bull or whatever. So. But yeah, just to finish off what I was saying, the only reason I can see him being fired at this point is that they've gotten Max to sign on the dotted line. Jos and all those guys have gone, yeah, but we want Horner gone immediately. Because anything else, you keep Horner until the end of the season. It just doesn't make any sense to remove him right now. So,
And
I don't know about you, just that or they're stupid, but they may well be stupid. They're stupid either way, I guess, so they may well be.
Because, I even wrote it on X that, again, all these theories of Max not being involved in any which way. I think there's one thing which is very safe to say, that if Max wanted Christian Horner at Red Bull,
Christian
he would
Horner
be
would
at
be
Red
at
Bull
Red
right
Bull.
now.
Yeah. Because that's the reason Helmut Marko's still there.
Exactly.
Like, nobody wants Helmut Marko there except for the Verstappens. Like, even the board were sick of Helmut Marko. Like, we've seen this in the past. Yeah. Like, he does absolutely nothing now. Like, I don't want to take away his history. He's done some good things in the past. He's brought some good drivers. But in the last decade, he's done absolutely sweet fuck all. So, apart
and his
from
legacy is going to be basically drowning the ship that he built. Honestly.
Yeah. So.
He's
the captain of the Titanic.
He will be the Luca di Montezemolo of Ferrari, who basically pushed Michael Schumacher out, killed the dream team, and see how it's been.
So
it's.
I don't know. I can't. If we're just talking logically, that's the only reason. If it's a reaction to Max leaving, like if Max has already basically said, "I'm going to Mercedes," then it's stupidity. But I do think there is some truth to it. I don't think Max himself was pushing for this. I think this is a simple case of Max has faith in his team, and I think his team are making some very bad decisions. Because this goes back to what I said about Jos and his team last year. You stay quiet. You let them deal with stuff. You push if you want to in certain directions, and you say, I'd prefer this or I'd prefer this, but you don't get directly involved, because what you do is you sit back, you let the team work this stuff through. And whichever way it works out, it's win-win for you. Because if Horner stays and turns the ship around, you win. If Horner goes and it falls apart, you've stayed out enough to just go, guys, listen, thanks for everything, but I'm out of here. Like, you don't need to get involved in this. So I think if his team has got involved and got Horner fired,
they may well have just honestly,
they may well have just removed, but they may well have just ruined his chance at a championship. Because if he stays now and the ship does sink, it may be too late by the end of 2026 to go somewhere else where you can win a championship. So
you're saying he stays for 2026, right?
For me, that seems like the logical solution. I don't see why they would fire Horner if he's already leaving, because it just like
seems that there is.
I see why they would fire Horner. I just don't see why they would fire him with immediate effect. You would hold him out until the end of the season. It doesn't make sense to hold him now. Like, if Max was leaving,
they just wanted him out. Could that be?
Sure, it could be as simple as that.
Right?
But that would be the height of idiocy. Like, and I should probably. I mean, boards are the height of idiocy anyway. So maybe that is the case. Maybe I'm being too nice in thinking that they've actually thought this through.
Yeah, I don't think they have thought this through, because the way they didn't have. If you have thought this through, you have someone. You have a successor in place. Lauren Mackey's is not going to be the first choice to be a team principal of many top teams.
Did you see what else they're thinking of doing as well?
What?
There's talk that basically Jody Egginton will come across to replace Vache.
Is that? It's not real, right? It's
I hope not.
Figment of some.
I really hope not, but that's who they're saying. Like, that's who people have been saying, or someone has been saying, that if Vache goes, he would be next in line. And
if someone is saying that, they need to be fired from their job, if they are working in Formula One.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
I've seen Verstappen fans latch on it because they're basically saying that the Racing Bull team has like come together this year or whatever. Yes, the Racing Bulls have come together to maximize at the midfield, but building a midfield car is very different from building a title-winning car.
Just refresh my memory. Where is Racing Bull in the championship right now?
6th or something, right? 6th, 7th?
8th.
Right. Yeah.
Great job.
But do you know the reason why Racing Bulls have become much better this year?
Yeah, half of the car is from Red Bull.
But also, do you know the real reason all of Racing Bulls has gotten so much better since 2023? Christian Horner, who put Mekies in charge. Christian Horner, who pushed for it to be moved to an on-campus location to help with all of this.
Yeah.
Christian Horner, who got the big sponsorship to come in for them. Christian Horner. So if everyone's like, well, look how good Racing Bulls is. Yes, thank you, Christian Horner. Like, just the short-sightedness of all this is just, it's insane to me. It doesn't.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't know. I honestly don't get it. And that's the whole thing, just to sum the whole thing up, if you're talking about a sporting perspective, let's assume Max Verstappen sticks for 2025. Let's assume that.
26 or 26, you mean?
Yeah, 26. Sorry.
Yeah.
He sticks around for 2026. I think we can be quite sure that Red Bull is not going to be a front runner in 2026.
Unless Horner and Vache have played a blinder behind the scenes, in which case it'll be really
Vache
funny.
Is also going to leave pretty soon.
Yeah, I reckon so too. But this is why it'll be funny, because if they do have a really good 2026 car, the credit for that has to go to Vache, Horner, and the engine team.
No. Vache does not get credit for anything, by the way. He doesn't get credit for 2023 car. Even though he was the one who built it.
because Newey built all of that, of course.
Yeah.
And Newey built the 2026 car somehow as well, yeah.
Exactly.
So, but my point is, if we're talking like logical non-Twitter people at the moment, then Vache and Horner will get the most credit for 2026 because it is halfway through the season. The 2026 plans will be continuing. They're not going to just stop and start again right now. So whatever's been in place is what will run. So if they show up with a really good 2026 car, then they're going to have to put a lot of credit to Horner and Vache, which they won't. No, they won't. But they should, is my point, logically speaking. Yeah. And if they show up with a really, really shit car, then fair enough, but good luck fixing it now, because you're going to have to bring in a whole new team.
Precisely. And that's the
problem. You know who'll get fired immediately for that? Laurent Mekies. Yeah. So
good job.
It's going to be
fun. That's the whole thing. That's what makes me a bit skeptical about Red Bull's future, because first of all, what is the Red Bull board's expectations from this team? We have no idea. Mm-hmm. Secondly, if 2026 comes in and the car is not right up there, Max is not going to stick around for 2027. Either he's going to take a sabbatical or is going to move to one of the teams. Yeah. Whichever way he goes, we'll talk about it later. Then the problem is, fine, Max is gone. You have probably Yuki Tsunoda in the other car. You need to find another driver. Mm-hmm. Is Laurent Mekies and Red Bull a combination worthy enough to turn heads of any top driver at this stage? The answer is no.
No, and most people aren't going to, because the thing is, like, if you kept like Horner and the current team in place, right? If you were looking at that to join, say next year, for example, say Max does go to Mercedes, right? And George is thinking about it. With Christian Horner and that team there, if you had to calm the situation down, instead of like throwing all of the things out the window and just said, right, we're backing Horner now, we're going to turn this around. Someone like George, Leclerc, whatever, would look at it and go, okay, this team is not great at the minute, but they have turned it around in the past. They will turn it around again. I'm going to put some faith in it. If you're looking at it, if you're looking at it right now, you're looking at it as, well, I have no idea where this team's going to be. Because like the entire leadership team is gone. So this could be the next Ferrari. And I don't mean that as a fucking compliment before anyone thinks that. I mean in terms of how Ferrari just cycles through top leadership. Because they're like, oh, well, you haven't done anything in 6 months, so goodbye. I'm worried that's where it's going to go. And that is also like, there is a reason why Dietrich didn't want this board running the team. Like, he was adamant that he didn't want this board running the team.
This is the reason, by the way.
He would rather have sold to someone else than have let this board run this. Yeah. So this is honestly,
and I won't be surprised if in at least you can say 3 or 4 years, let's say a couple of years, the power unit is nowhere. Let's assume Laurent Mekies is gone and they just bring in Arvid Lindblad or Isaac Hadjar into the team. That's your driver lineup. Do you think Ford is going to stick around?
I would go further than that. I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 years' time the thing is up for sale.
It won't be up for sale that soon, but again, it will start.
But soon.
The thing is, the
It
cards
wouldn't be
would
surprising.
start. Yeah, the cards would start
Yeah.
falling, and that's the whole problem because you've gone ahead. And
They've divested from a load of other things in sports as well, haven't they? At the moment, I think.
No. Red Bull is doing great in terms of sporting thing. Mark,
But I think they've sold off a good bit of their actual investments in stuff, right? As far as I'm aware.
If
I believe they've started divesting and letting other companies take over where they can kind of keep their name on it, but not have direct investment, basically.
Okay, in Dakar, it's not the case, which is Dakar Rally. It's not the case.
Okay.
In MotoGP, it's not the case. They were almost about to buy KTM.
Maybe it's Rally or something. I know they've divested in a few things. I'm just not sure off the top of my head what. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Anyway,
could be.
different conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, that could also be because they're trying to broaden their portfolio because apparently they're sponsoring cricketers and others as well. So there has been a broadening of the horizon. Maybe.
If a board was looking at it, the thought would be, well, we can get just as much out of this by being a title sponsor as we can by owning a team without all of the
Pretty
investment.
much. And that's the whole thing. Because what's going to happen is they have two teams and both of them collectively they'll be worth around 8-9 billion. That's the net worth. And once these teams, both of them basically being run by substandard power units, and if they are right at the back, they are not going to be in a position where, again, questions will be asked. But if the future is that the board is going to run it and it's not going to be independent, then the entire outfit is screwed.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how long Marco is going to be there, but it would be interesting to see how much he sees
in Red
the
Bull or on the
downfall.
planet.
Either ways.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Bad joke.
Very bad joke. The thing is, he's going to see the downfall pretty much. He'll be in the front row. And that's the entire way you can see it going in that direction. And that's great job. Great job. I mean, I really don't.
I just don't think
for the whole team.
Yeah, I just don't see a situation where this is a good strategy. I think that's why I keep going back to just timing wise. The only thing that makes sense is that they've signed Verstappen for 26.